Does drinking non-alcoholic beer mean you're still trying to fit in even though you're sober? You want to try to act with other people who are drinking that you're drinking with them? Does that mean you're less confident? Does that mean you're trying to fit in? I don't know. We're going to dive into this on this video today. Now, why am I talking about this subject? Because it actually came up on one of the last posts that I do. You guys have seen my content. I post a lot about non-alcoholic beer, and I honestly discovered it on accident. I was at a bar with my friend, and I was kind of like, oh, he said he wanted to go to a bar instead of a cob bar. And I was like, oh no, like I really don't want to go. But then I went and they had like pool and darts and everything. And I went to order a ginger beer, and I have this app called Yuka, and I scanned it just to see like how good it is for you and all the ingredients. And I read there was like all these terrible ingredients. Like, oh my gosh, this is really bad for you. This is like worse than anything I've ever drank. And so I went up to the bar and I was like, "Hey, do you guys have any non-alcoholic beers?" Thinking they may have like O'Doul's or something, right? Like, and they had sure we had like non-alcoholic Guinness. I'm like, that sounds great. Give me a try. And so I grabbed a non-alcoholic Guinness. I think it might have been my first time ever trying non-alcoholic beer, and this literally like last year. And so I tried it. I was like, wow, like this isn't that bad. And so it was fun to kind of drink the Guinness and like cheers and like put it into a cup and like feel like I was part of the bar scene, but I wasn't getting drunk and I'm still sober. So then I started trying other beers slowly, started trying non-alcoholic beers, and I just want to let like it tastes better than ginger beer. It tastes better than soda. It tastes better than Coke. I remember when I was like traveling around South America, I would like order like a Guanara. I don't even remember. It was like some soda. When I didn't realize that I could have ordered non-alcoholic beer. I really think it's better for you. And it's kind of like fun and edgy. Like you're at the bar, you're doing your thing, you're sober, but you don't have to like rub it in somebody's face that you're sober. I'm not saying if you have like a Coke that is rubbing in somebody's face, but it's just more subtle. It's more subtle to have a non-alcoholic beer, and especially if you like it. And I want to just go ahead and say, like, drinking non-alcoholic beer is not for everybody, especially if you consider yourself an alcoholic, and if it triggers you, if like you feel like you're drinking the beer, you want to drink more, you want to get drunk. Like, just want to go ahead and say, like, a disclaimer: it's not for everybody, right? Everybody's totally different. So I just want to go ahead and go over like what is confidence by definition, and then kind of go over four different reasons of why I drink non-alcoholic beer that has nothing to do with this, right? Trying to gain confidence from other sources, right? So confidence is a deep belief in your own abilities, decisions, and worth without needing validation from others. And I honestly truly believe that it takes a lot of confidence to be sober in a world that's obsessed with drinking. Like it's really difficult. And it takes another step of confidence to go out and to be social, to go to the bars, to go to parties. Like you could just kind of go in hermit mode and just like not go out. But it takes a very confident person to go out to the bars sober by yourself. And if whatever drink you want to drink that's not alcohol, go for it. So anyway, I'm gonna go down to the four reasons, and everybody's totally different. So everybody has their different reasons of drinking non-alcoholic beer. For one of my reasons is I really like the taste. Like I found this one beer called Athletic that has tons of different flavors, but like I truly love IPAs. I didn't realize how much I love IPAs until I started drinking the non-alcoholic version. Like best beer I've ever had, hands down. So, four reasons I drink non-alcoholic beer that is not seeking validation from an outside source, 100% not, is number one is like one of the things that people might be saying is like, oh, like you drink it just to fit in, right? No, actually, many times that I do drink is around sober people. So they're kind of like, what are you drinking? Like, what is that? They think it's like a beer. Like, alarm goes off. Like, whoa, like, what does this dude do in bringing a beer over here? Right. And then so that kind of wow factor works. So they're like interested, right? They're like, like I'm interested. What is that? Oh, it's non-alcoholic beer. Oh, do you like IPAs? That's my second question. I say, do you like IPAs? Because the IPAs that I'm drinking right here it's very hoppy. It's only for a distinct taste. Like if you don't like IPAs, you're not going to like this beer that I'm having, right? So instead of looking for outside validation, I'm being different by bringing like my kava container or my non-alcoholic beers, and people ask about it, and so then I get them to try it just in case that might be something they want to do, and they can bring that into their social events as well. So the next thing that I want to say, like I said, kind of mentioned before, is that going to bars sober takes confidence. And I don't care what you're drinking. You could be drinking mocktails, you could be drinking water, you could be drinking soda, you could be drinking whatever you want to drink. But what I love about all these things that don't include alcohol is you could bring your own stuff to the bar. And nobody's gonna be like, "Excuse me, sir, you can't bring that non-alcoholic beer." Like, if you know you're going to a bar that there's no non-alcoholic beer, which most of them do. Actually, like 80% of bars carry non-alcoholic beers, but they might not have your favorite flavor. So if you want to bring it with you, cool. If you want to drink a non-alcoholic beer on the way to the bar, that's totally cool too, which I think is so cool. So number one, I usually drink the beers around people who are sober in different parties, and they ask about it, and then I get them to try it out. So it actually stick out by bringing these non-alcoholic beers. And then when I go to the bars, it's actually, in my opinion, healthier than most sodas and sugary mocktails. Like think about if you order like a Shirley Temple, or you order like, a non-alcoholic margarita. Like there's still a whole bunch of BS corn syrup and stuff in there that's disgusting. But if you just drink a beer, it's just like, a natural fermentation process, and then without the alcohol, which is great. It's just hops. It's just like wheat, right? So anyway, um, one of the reasons that I like to drink non-alcoholic beer is because I like the taste. I stick out a little bit when I go into sober events, and it's better than the alternatives that I found before. And another real reason is that it's more subtle. It's not like, oh hey, by the way, like I'm just drinking water. Like when you see somebody drinking water, you're like, okay, they might be sober, they might be in between drinks, right? It's more subtle, and it actually seems like it's more convincing to people who do drink, right? They're like, oh, it tastes like a beer, but it doesn't get me drunk. That might be something I'll try in dry January, or like, oh, let me try it. And if it tastes good, then I'll kind of question them. Like, first of all, like, why you drink? Oh, I like the taste. Oh, really? Try my non-alcoholic beer. How do you think that tastes? And they say, oh, that's really good. I'm like, so what about, just drinking non-alcoholic beer? Would that be okay with you? Oh no, I don't know. I don't think I can do that. Really? So you really drink it for the taste. So you can kind of like question people. You don't have to like, dig the knife in, but they can start questioning themselves like, oh, wait, do I drink for the taste or do I drink for the effect? Because I would say 95% of humans drink for the effect, right? For some reason, they're linked to alcohol for some certain reason. And there are some people that drink like one or two drinks, but maybe that link is because everybody else is doing it, and because they do it for the social aspect. Well, if you order a non-alcoholic beer or a non-alcoholic wine, it does the same thing, where it's like, I'm here with you, I'm experiencing this thing with you. It's more of like a social camaraderie, right? So you're experiencing kind of the same thing, except you're not drinking the alcohol, right? So you don't have to like be pushed out into like the outcast. Even though if you do drink water, it's not a big deal. Most people, if they're understanding, you're gonna understand that you're sober. So the last couple ones is that like I said before, I love IPAs. I freaking love. I didn't realize how much I love drinking beer until I started drinking non-alcoholic beer. And like I said, it's literally was last year that I started it. And so just to kind of wrap up the whole idea, like this whole post happened from a comment on my post that was, because you drink non-alcoholic beer, that means you're not confident because you're trying to fit in with other people. And while that might be true in a very, very small fraction of people who drink non-alcoholic beer, maybe, possibly, but first of all, like, who are you to judge? Like how somebody drinks, what somebody drinks in sobriety that helps them through that process, right? Like maybe somebody's in their process of gaining that confidence and they want to try the non-alcoholic beers. Who cares? It's their process, right? But for me, Definitely not. Like I discovered this on accident and I do it to be like more subtle, it's more edgy, I like the taste, it's more healthy. So those are all the factors of why I drink non-alcoholic beer. And if you want to try it, like I said before, my favorite brand is Athletic. They don't just have IPAs, they have tons of different other beers. But from my experience, it's the most carbonated and it has the best taste that I've had in any non-alcoholic beers. So just remember that 80% of bars carry the non-alcoholic beers. So if you like want to go out in the town and you don't want to like a million people asking you questions about like why are you not drinking? Drink a non-alcoholic beer, pour it in a glass, done. You don't have to worry about it. That's another reason why I drink non-alcoholic beers is because sometimes like I'm like ready to receive all of these questions of people like why aren't you drinking? Why aren't you drinking? Why aren't you drinking? When you drink a non-alcoholic beer, you can kind of like fly under the radar and then get the people who ask the actual questions that are deeper. You know what I mean? It's hard to kind of explain to somebody, but I've been on this journey for 6 years, so I've been able to experience pretty much the whole spectrum. So, and I'm ready to experience more. So, thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, if you try non-alcoholic beer and you love it as well, if you're willing to try it, comment them down below, and would love to see them, and we'll reply to you ASAP. So, have a beautiful night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.